of India for extending their wholehearted support to us towards organizing this seminar. And ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have with us some of the most distinguished personalities and experts from the tourism and aviation sectors who will share their valuable insights and guide us on how we can build a sustainable future for India's tourism industry. I would now request Lieutenant General K.M. Seth, President FAST, to do the honors of welcoming Honorable Chief Guest Sri Suman Bilaji with a floral bouquet. A very warm welcome to you, sir, for gracing this occasion. Thank you, General Seth, for doing the honors. I would now request Sri V.P. Agarwal, Vice President FAST, to do the honors of welcoming Sri M.P. Des Barua, former Secretary Tourism, Government of India. Requesting you, sir, to welcome Sri Arvind Singh Ji, former Secretary Tourism, Government of India. Warm welcome to you, sir. We welcome Sri Vinod Suchi, former Secretary Tourism, Government of India. Warm welcome to you, sir. We welcome Srimati Jyoti Mayal, President TI and Vice Chairman FATE. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. We also welcome Lieutenant General K.M. Seth, President FAST. And I would request Sri M.P. Des Barua Ji to kindly welcome Sri V.P. Agarwal Ji with a floral bouquet. Ladies and gentlemen, I now have the proud privilege in requesting our Honorable Chief Guest and dignitaries on the dais to kindly do the honors of lighting the ceremonial lamp and formally inaugurating the seminar today. और अब हम शुरुआत करेंगे आज के इस आयोजन की, आज के सेमिनार की पारंपरिक गीत प्रज्वलन के साथ। And let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, on the ceremonial inauguration of today's seminar. May I request for a group photograph with the lamp? Thank you. And we once again thank all our distinguished dignitaries for doing the honors of inaugurating the proceedings of today's seminar. And ladies and gentlemen, to begin the proceedings, I now have the privilege in inviting Lieutenant General K.M. Seth, PVSM, AVSM, former Governor of Tripura and Chhattisgarh, and President of FAST, to kindly deliver the welcome address. Lieutenant General Seth is the former Governor of Tripura and Chhattisgarh, currently the President of Foundation for Aviation and Sustainable Tourism, which is a non-profit consultancy and research organization with the prime objective of promoting tourism and aviation. General Seth is a very capable and highly decorated officer of the Indian Army. He brings with him vast managerial and administrative experience. So let's put our hands together to welcome General Seth for the welcome address.
Respected Shri Samdullah Ji, the Additional Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, who is our chief guest today at this seminar, and Shri Arvind Singh Ji, Shri Bes Barwa Ji, and Shri Jutsi Ji, the former secretaries of Tourism, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. We also welcome Srimati Jyoti Mahal, the President, Thai and Faith, and of course, Mr. V.P. Agarwal, the former Chairman, Airport Authority of India. It is my profound privilege to welcome all of you at this seminar being organized by the FAST on taking India tourism forward through technology, innovation, and sustainability. Before saying anything, I would like to apologize on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Shri Shekhawat Ji, and Srimati Vidyavati Ji, the Minister and the Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, for not being here today, in spite of their best thinking, and we were very sure they will. They had to go to Brazil to attend the G20 meeting over there. India's tourism sector, gentlemen, is one of the fastest growing industry, particularly after the G20 held in India, which gave us or gave a fillip and a golden opportunity for Indian tourism industry to grow at a faster pace. In fact, we have to grab that opportunity to move forward and market incredible India tourism. The digital revolution, coupled with information and communication technology, has transformed the entire tourism sector and the scenario. In fact, I would not be wrong if I say India was the first to digitize air booking and hotel bookings at a global scale. And it is now time that we move forward and retain the lead to make it tourism a more efficient, administratively administered industry. One thing I want to draw your attention is, you all must have felt that the guides at the tourist destinations are the biggest pain to the tourists, particularly foreign tourists. Not because they are expensive, but they try to fleece and trouble the tourists. I feel time has come to digitize all tourism destinations and make that digitized guide through mobile applications available to the tourist so that he can enjoy and have an experience of his lifetime whenever he visits a destination. There will be more ideas which will be thrown up during the seminar. Just a word on sustainability and green tourism. It's commonly known as the sustainable tourism, the responsible tourism, or ecotourism, all one and the same. What it means is that we must conserve the heritage and the culture of the destination to the best possible means. And one of the ways is that a great amount of waste which is generated at the destination must be degradable and must be reusable to ensure the cleanliness and sustainability of the destination. I am very sure when a tourist visits an Indian destination, he is not only looking for the destination's get-up and otherwise, he is looking for a total experience, and how we can give him the total experience with least inconvenience and maximum administrative facilities should be our focus in the months to come. I leave all these issues to be deliberated upon by the experts in the panel here and in the audience over the next two technical sessions, and I am sure we'll come up with some positive recommendations for the Ministry of Tourism. Just one word about the FAST. We have a huge reservoir of expertise with us, and I leave it to all the stakeholders that we are available to you in whichever manner you want to utilize the services of FAST. It's a no-profit organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your inspiring words and for setting the tone of discussions for today's seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Vinod Suchiji, the former Secretary Tourism, Government of India, has 35 years of leadership experience in public policy and administration with long, vivid experience and exposure in the fields of tourism, public policy and administration, management, law, human resource development, and also election management. Besides Secretary Tourism, he held many other key positions with Secretary Culture, Government of India, Deputy Election Commissioner in Election Commission of India, Secretary Civil Aviation, and at the Government of Rajasthan. An alumni of Harvard Kennedy School, an MBA from the Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University, Sri Yutsi is now the profession of providing consultancy and advisory services in the field of travel and tourism. And I now have the proud privilege in inviting Sir for his insightful address. So let's put our hands together to welcome him.
President of FAST, Lieutenant General Seth, Mr. Suman Billa, Additional Secretary Tourism, Government of India, and Chief Guest of today's event, Shrimati Jyoti Mayal, President TAI, Shri MP Bez Barua, former Secretary Tourism, Government of India, Shri Arvind Singh, former Secretary Tourism, Government of India, Shri VP Agarwal, former Chairman AAI and Vice President FAST, esteemed guests and speakers, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be once again amongst my colleagues and friends from tourism fraternity, and as part of FAST family, I too begin with extending a warm welcome to all the dignitaries and the guests present here. Thanks, Mr. Suman Billa, for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, today's seminar is another effort of the Foundation to deliberate on a highly relevant and significant issue related to the future of tourism in India. In fact, the subject of today's seminar, Taking India Tourism Forward Through Technological Innovations and Green Sustainability, is equally relevant for the entire global fraternity. Friends, India's tourism sector has the potential to drive significant economic growth. However, to take India tourism forward effectively, technological innovations and green sustainability are crucial. By embracing technological innovations and committing to green sustainability, India can enhance its global tourism appeal while contributing positively to the environment and local communities. This futuristic approach will not only attract more tourists, but also ensure that tourism growth is sustainable and beneficial for all stakeholders involved. Ladies and gentlemen, technological innovations are essential for accelerating the growth of tourism by enhancing the traveler's experience, improving operational efficiency, and ensuring sustainability. In a highly competitive global tourism market, leveraging technology helps attract more visitors, streamline services, and create sustainable practices. As travelers increasingly demand convenience, personalization, and environmentally responsible options, applying these technologies is essential for tourism businesses and destinations to stay competitive. From virtual reality tours, Internet of Things, and AI-driven personalization to blockchain-based secure payments, to big data analytics, to mobile apps, 5G technology, and to sustainable smart tourism destinations, the integration of these technologies, friends, would not only enhance the traveler's experience, but also foster a more resilient and eco-friendly tourism industry. Ladies and gentlemen, India has a robust digital public infrastructure, commonly available to all ministries, the state governments, to the public at nominal and no cost, such as Aadhaar, DigiLocker, UPI, BHIM, Payment Gateway, PAN, CIN, GSTN. And therefore it will be easier for the stakeholders of tourism sector to apply digital technology and other innovations sooner than later. Friends, while the technological innovations are critical for driving growth of tourism, mainstreaming sustainability in tourism through green initiatives has to go side by side. By simultaneously focusing on sustainable infrastructure, resource management, eco-friendly accommodations, environment-friendly transportations, community engagement, and conservation, India tourism can achieve the desired goal of growth with sustainability. It is time that governments, financial institutions, development partners, private sector investors, and people work together for green transformation of the tourism sector by making green investments in all spheres of this sector. To further accelerate the pace of green tourism in India, we need to consider formulating green tourism friendly fiscal, taxation, and incentive policies, creating easier access to capital for green investments, and forging public-private partnerships for promoting green tourism. Friends, Ministry of Tourism's vision in the draft National Tourism Policy 2022 to set up National Green Tourism Mission and a Digital Tourism Mission are indeed laudable. This policy initiative of the Ministry shall help to drive green transformation and technological innovation in the tourism industry and will help to create more sustainable, more inclusive, and digitalized tourism development of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, since today in the business sessions, we are going to discuss these issues in greater details, and therefore I stop here. But before I close, since, ladies and gentlemen, today's seminar is part of World Tourism Day celebrations, I wish a happy World Tourism Day to you all, and I convey my good wishes to the entire tourism fraternity of India. Friends, Tourism for Peace is the theme set by UNWTO for this year, and on this occasion, I end my address with the remark that tourism and peace, they complement each other. Tourism is both a generator of peace and a beneficiary of peace. It is therefore necessary that on the eve of World Tourism Day, the entire world community resolves to build peace in order to promote tourism, and every one of us aims to build tourism to bring greater peace on the planet. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your insightful remarks on the evolving role of tourism in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce Srimati Jyoti Mayan, the President of the prestigious Travel Agents Association of India with over 2,700 members, Vice Chairperson Faith, Chairperson THSC under the aegis of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Member Board of ICC, National Committee Aviation, Tourism, Hospitality, CII, National Committee on Tourism and Hospitality, Assistant National Committee Aviation and National Committee Tourism. Her forward-thinking and innovative management has helped both companies to grow immensely and diversely to varied streams of travel and tourism. She has been awarded innumerable times for her commitment and dedication towards tourism and is known as the strong voice of industry. She was awarded the most influential person by NDTV Profit and Outbound Travel Mart, and also the Young Woman of Substance and Leadership Award by the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Government of India at the Hospitality India and Explore the World International Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have her here with us today, and let's put our hands together to welcome ma'am for her kind address.
Thank you so much. Hearing so much elaborated about myself, actually, but I think my biggest award is that I'm here today with all of the dignitaries sitting here on the dais, because I think that's what I've achieved, and I think that's my biggest laurel till date. Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here again, the second time for the Foundation for Aviation and Sustainable Tourism, under the leadership of Lieutenant General K.M. Seth, and I think it was a wonderful event which we had last year at nearly the same time. Welcome all my friends on the dais, and especially Mr. Suman Villa, who's back to the Tourism Ministry, and we got someone very formidable and very experienced who's come back to India to support the tourism sector, and we are looking forward to his support. All my friends on the dais, Mr. Vinod Joshi ji, Mr. Arvind Singh ji, Mr. B.S. Barua ji, and of course Mr. V.B. Agarwal ji. Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for all here listening me out. And I see the young ones here, which are the future for tomorrow. I wish you all the success. So I'll just say one thing before I start, and usually I say everything from my heart, but today with dignitaries on the dais, I thought I would get a speech. I could get some words written, because otherwise I don't know what I'll be speaking, because I think their knowledge, in-depth knowledge, is just superb. So the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and that's what Lao Tzu said. So it's an honor to address you all today, and I'd like to extend my gratitude once again to everyone who's hearing me out. So I'll just come back to, because everyone is going to be speaking about the same, but I'm just going to quickly say that. So what is the current landscape of Indian tourism in just a small overview? We know the Indian tourism industry has shown remarkable resilience and growth, contributing significantly to our economy. In 2023, the tourism sector contributed approximately 9.2% to India's GDP and supported over 42 million jobs. And despite the challenges posed by the global pandemic, we have seen a strong recovery thanks to the collective efforts of all stakeholders and all of you sitting here. However, we still face many multiple challenges, including infrastructure gaps, regulatory hurdles, and need for sustainable practices. Addressing these challenges is crucial for maintaining our competitive edge in the global tourism market. The world, of course, we all talk about technology, is being led by the innovations today. The digital revolution has transformed the way we travel and experience destinations. Online booking systems, like Mr. Joshi just said, virtual tours and AI-driven customer service have become an integral part of our industry. These technological not only enhance customer experience, but also streamline operations and reduce costs. For instance, the use of AI in customer service can reduce response times by up to 70%, significantly improving customer satisfaction. So what is smart tourism? I keep saying that to myself, because we've got a multiple of smart cities in our country, but when I go there, sometimes I don't find them very smart. But anyway, that's the way we are looking at the world, and that's how we need to change. So the concept of smart tourism involves the integration of LOT, AI, and big data to create intelligent and responsive tourism destinations. Smart tourism can lead to improved efficiency, personalized experiences, and better resource management. For example, smart sensors can monitor tourist flow and environmental conditions, helping us to manage destinations more sustainability, because over-tourism is something the whole world is looking at also when we talk about sustainability. Third, let's talk about the green sustainability, what we are talking about today in tourism. Sustainable practices are no longer a choice, I think, but a necessity for the future of tourism. You know, till a few months back or maybe a year back, it was only a buzzword, and I used to hear that word every dais or every platform I visited, you know. I really don't understand this, because I don't think half of us understand what sustainable is. I don't think half of us understand what it really involves. I really don't think we all understand how to go and achieve this. I think that's the first thing we should be doing. We should be educating ourselves through the Ministry of Tourism, and I think aviation too, because I think the turbine fuel and all these things are making a lot of impact on the environment. So I think we need to learn much more than what we just talk about, because it will only be implemented if we really recognize what is sustainable. We talk about plastics. We don't even know what plastics are we supposed to throw, what plastic are we supposed to be using. They can be reused. So I think there's a lot that needs to go in sustainability, and it's not going to happen overnight. But we must adopt eco-friendly practices in our operations, such as reducing carbon footprints, promoting ecotourism, and implementing sustainable waste management. By doing so, we can protect our natural resources and ensure that our future generations can enjoy the beauty of our country and globally. According to recent studies, ecotourism can reduce environmental impact by up to 50% compared to traditional tourism practices. We as individuals, and I say that very loudly because all of us sitting here can make that difference, and of course associations like TAI and others, and faith associations, but we need to work together to engage local communities in sustainable tourism. Initiatives as it will not only empower local economies but also help preserve culture, heritage and traditions. We need to experience the local homestays, foods, cuisine, culture, exposure, get local guides to actually be there, and so on and so forth. Community-based tourism projects can provide authentic experiences for travelers while benefiting local residents, and the residents also don't need to go out of their own small cities, villages, wherever they are living to actually earn their bread. I would say when I'm talking about sustainable tourism and when I have such luminaries sitting on the dais, I never lose the opportunity to say that, you know, sustainability will only come when we have proper policy advocacies. And, you know, we all as an association, I say that again repeatedly, that we need industry status. Wherever I go, I just, like I said, I don't want to lose this. So we need to have, and this actually I'm going to address it directly to Mr. Suman Billa, because I think he's been helping us a lot for other projects, and we've been in touch with all earlier secretaries also. Mr. Arvind Singh knows how I keep fighting about it the whole time. So I think one of the key issues that we are going to be advocating and we need to do is, of course, the rationalization of GST, which needs to come down to create a sustainable model for the industry, because sustainability is a huge value chain. It doesn't only start with green tourism and ecotourism, it also needs to come back to the sustainable industry to make it sustainable. So a simplified and uniform tax structure will make it easier for businesses to operate and attract more tourists, and that I'll say for every destination. And currently we are, you know, between 12 to 28%, which is very huge where tourism is concerned. And so all those things need to be looked into. Industry status would also grant us, you know, the state level to another thing, infrastructure development and policy support. It will also help us to address such issues as high operational cost and regulatory barriers. One thing which has always been close to my heart, and yes, I am the chairperson for the Tourism and Hospitality Skill Council, is the skill development and women's safety. Because I think those two are another two sustainable aspects that need to come into the industry. So investing in skill development is vital for building a competent workforce. We must promote, and I say that very loudly, we've started doing that, apprenticeship courses and training programs to equip our youth with the necessary skills and to understand sustainability, green tourism, ecotourism. This will not only enhance their employability, but also contribute to the overall growth of the industry. According to the National Skill Development Corporation, the tourism sector will require an additional 10 million skilled workers by 2025. And women's safety, that we ensure the safety of female travelers, is a top priority. We must implement safety audits, training programs, and awareness campaigns to create safer environments. By doing so, we can make India a more attractive destination for solo female travelers and families. I'd just like to conclude and not taking more of your time, because this is this industry and I would say sustainability and skilling and women are very close to my heart. So that as we move forward, I urge all stakeholders sitting here that influence, and you are the biggest set of influencers sitting across us, that you need to be very, very active to influence. Like I was just told that we can always approach fast to actually take up issues. I think that's what we should be doing. And we should embrace technological innovations and sustainable practices. So let us work together to create a more resilient, inclusive and sustainable tourism industry. And I'd just like to close by saying the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And that's what Eleanor Roosevelt said. So let us build on that. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for having me once again. And I wish everyone a very happy and a fruitful World Tourism Day coming on 27th. And let's hope that we just move towards peace, because tourism sees no borders. And we have to, it's just the growth of peace, nothing more, and people to people connect. Thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you very much indeed, ma'am, for highlighting the importance of skill and social media in the tourism sector. And now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, I would like to invite Shri M.P. Bezbarua, former Secretary Tourism, Government of India, to address the August House. Shri Bezbarua was Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India for 5 years and was designated Honorary Permanent Representative of UNWTO for his... So let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome you.
Respected General Seth, our friend and colleague Suman Billah, Chief Guest, Jyoti Mayalji, I suppose the most familiar face in the industry today, and my esteemed colleagues, Mr. Jyoti, Mr. Arvind Singh, and also Mr. Agarwal, and many friends and distinguished guests here, and the young students I see here. I think after such very distinguished speakers already have been said, I must be redefining the concept of optimism if I feel that I have anything more to say. In fact, if I have dared to be here today in spite of such a galaxy of speakers, it is only for two reasons. The first is my love and association with FAST, which continues for more than 25 years. But love is not only blind, it can also make you lose discretion. And I think it was indiscreet on my part to be asking for speaking here with all these speakers. The second reason why I wanted to got the courage to speak is that I remember the story which I have told earlier, is that he had an old man like me who was fumbling with his papers while going to speak. One young speaker out of concern said, "Sir, your falling eyesight must be giving you trouble." The old man said, "Yes, son, my falling eyesight with age is, my eyesight is falling, but my vision is getting better." Let me just quickly recount 2 or 3 things only. I will not go into what the topic, second part of the topic, which has been Mr. Jyoti and Jyoti ji has spoken about. I would like to briefly mention about the first part, which is about Indian tourism way forward. First, how do we go? Let me quote the very famous saying of Alice in Wonderland, which I always find so pertinent. It says that depends a lot on where you want to get to. Now, our journey has to be, it's a $1 million question. Where do we want to get to? And we have many, at this moment, many tidbits of wisdom, but there is no cohesive and vision for our way forward. It gives me a little bit of a vicarious pleasure to say that way back in 1999, I had piloted the, after 1982, we had our second tourism policy, which I started in 1999, and it came out in 2002. And after 2002, we have not had a policy as such. Mr. Billa would know very well that we have tried a lot, and of course Mr. Arvind Singh also. Two excellent drafts have been put forward, and but those brilliant efforts have been stillborn. Last draft had very, very pragmatic ideas on professional destination management, National Tourism Authority and all those things, and which are very, very important for our tourism development. I found that the 2023 budget of the finance minister did give some significant directions, and that was that it will be on a mission mode, that it will be convergence of all the stakeholders in the tourism, which are counted by the Ministry of Tourism as at least 19 stakeholders, which are crucial in ministries and others apart from the industry. And public-private partnership was pointed out, and destination development was talked about. But it fell much short of a vision for our journey. So the first task, I suppose, is to put our vision correct, that where we want to get to and how. Second, I think is setting the objectives in numbers. We have been hearing a lot about where we want to achieve the numbers, and that worries me a little bit. We have been hearing about over-tourism. Over-tourism may be just a reaction of the communities, what is normally in tourism called iridex effect. The people are irritated by all the adverse effects of tourism. And maybe like what we had sometimes back, you all heard about the agitation about the Occupy Wall Street and all. Maybe this will also die down. But the fundamentals of this over-tourism should not die down. And the fundamentals are that it is affecting our life and future, and we have to control tourism in a way that is sustainable. Some of the worries that relate to policy are that the projected numbers that we are asking for do not match what we have in infrastructure. For example, if we have to have that number of tourists, foreign tourists and domestic tourists, which is a mammoth growth of 2,200 million visits. Now we need this accommodation, infrastructure in communication, rail, road, etc. And those are not just there. So we have to plan for that, and for that, as Jyotiji had mentioned, infrastructure status for the industry, industry status for the tourism sector are vital, as well as the ease of doing business, to ensure that the private sector play that role in creating that infrastructure, and it will not come in the government sector. Third is that we need to create many more destinations than we are talking about. The finance minister talked about 50 destinations. I thought that was too small a vision to have. We have huge number of destinations, but we are fortunate in that, and those have to be developed. And otherwise, what has happened is that tourism, we talked about tourism, its impact on economic growth, its impact of inclusive growth. It has been limited to, Indian tourism is not a balanced one. It is limited to 7 states, which count for 60 to 70% of the entire visits and arrivals. Now, unless we develop destinations, we cannot achieve sustainable tourism in this country, and we cannot achieve inclusive growth, which will remain a slogan. And the fourth, I think, which is the most important part, we talked about sustainable tourism in many aspects. For the industry, the concept of circular economy is already on. We can go on talking about what is circular economy, how it affects. But as Judy has said, that sometimes we don't understand. And that is where it comes that the government's program of lifestyle for environment, is crucial to the future of Indian sustainable tourism. That is where responsibility comes. And responsibility is not only for the government, it's for all the stakeholders, including the local communities, the tourists, and the service providers and the industry. So I think that is one important reason which has to be enforced very clearly and strongly through various measures. And that is what I am supposed we will discuss today. We'll come up with some positive recommendations. Fifth, I think is the future is not what it used to be. And that is the most important thing for the way we talk about the future. Technological changes will impact, as has been mentioned by the speakers, in every way the tourism development, and not only tourism development, our lives have changed completely. For technology, unfortunately or fortunately, is changing very fast, and each change in technology is compromising or compounding the range and the speed of anything that came before. By the time you know a technology, it is obsolete. And in a situation like this, our skilling and manpower development strategy has to be completely revamped, because we have to be on a continuous training mode. The students and others who are learning something today have to be on that continuous training mode to be relevant for the future needs. And that is to adapt to changes or become obsolete. That is why I think the entire skilling approach has to be completely changed. We have to see whether our institutions have the capacity to adapt to these changes, whether we can change our syllabus and others to suit. But there is another serious problem, where it was mentioned that we have a huge number of demand from the industry, and if we develop tourism the way we want to, the demand will grow further. There is enormous requirement of manpower in the industry, but there is a mismatch between what is available and what the industry needs. The industry needs something, and we are producing something else, and the technology requires something else. And that mismatch has to be bridged, and that should be part of a very important vision that we have. Now, we are today, as I mentioned, has decided going to celebrate National Tourism Day, Tourism and Peace. It has been talked about. I remember Gandhiji, who said, travel is the language of peace. And travel, we did not go into. The 1982 first tourism policy of India, foundation was on understanding cultural and other aspects of tourism, which will create future understanding, peace, etc. And after COVID, the mantra of tourism, which has been the focus, has been on three. That is planet, people, and prosperity. Tourism can contribute to do for each one of them, but we need much vision and great resolve. We are happy that Mr. Birla, you have come at a time which is very challenging and exciting time. We wish you all the best and assure you that we are all behind you if you need us. Thank you very much, and thank you all for being here. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Arvind Singh Ji, an IAS officer of 1988 batch, served as the former Secretary to the Government of India, and prior to this held some very important positions as Chairman AAI, Additional Chief Secretary Energy in Government of Maharashtra, and Chairman and Managing Director of Maharashtra State Power Generation Company Limited, and Maharashtra State Electricity Transmission He also served at the Indian Embassy Tokyo as the Honorable Minister Economic and Commercial. So let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome Chair for his visit.
Honorable distinguished guests on the dais, Lieutenant General Seth, who's President of FAST, two secretaries whose legacy I inherited as Secretary Tourism, Mr. Bez Barua and Mr. Zutshi, Mr. V.B. Agarwal, whose legacy I inherited as Chairman Airports Authority of India, because I also got to an occasion to work there. Mrs. Jyoti Mayal, who's the only lady on the dais, and we've heard her speak, and she's a doyen of the industry, and I've seen her, act in action while in the ministry and even after my retirement last year. And friends, ladies and gentlemen who are all present here, first of all, my best wishes for World Tourism Day. It couldn't be a better time for tourism in India, and as most of us know, that tourism in India is today in a sweet spot. Now, it is a challenge for me because so many speakers have spoken on various aspects of what is to be deliberated in the seminar today, what is the current state of play, which Jyoti talked about. So I will start on a lighter note because the speaker introduced myself, and many people used to question me as to how I landed up in the tourism sector. And because my previous 10, 12 years were worked in infrastructure, or I was working in finance. I was posted in Tokyo as Minister Economic, which was a finance ministry post, and then I was in the power sector dealing with airports. And I think the only link was what I did in the initial parts of my professional career, which would be an indication for the young students who are here, that what you do initially is, comes back and serves you later on in life. Unlike Suman, who is one of the longest serving people in the tourism sector currently, he served at the state level, he served at the national level, he's also served internationally. He worked in the World Tourism Organization as a representative from India. I had no such opportunity. But my first years of my professional career, I was posted in one of the most important tourism destinations of the country, at Aurangabad in Maharashtra, where Ajanta and Ellora are located. And I spent 5 years there as district trainee, as assistant collector, and then I got promoted as CEO Zilla Parishad. In fact, many people used to joke at that time that he's become part of the Indian Aurangabad service because he spent 5 years there. But that stint at Aurangabad took me very often to Ajanta, Ellora, Daulatabad, and Krishneshwar Temple, which is now one of the Jyotirlingas. So it was Jyotirlingas. Ajanta, Ellora, you all have heard of. Daulatabad Fort, which used to be the capital of India, they're all located there. And in my 5 years stay, I got the opportunity because I'm talking about the early 90s. So there were not very good English guides available there. So many a time when a dignitary would come, I would have to double up as an English guide. So I had to read up a lot and take them around. But three dignitaries stand out. I took many national as well, but three stand out. One was Helmut Kohl, the Chancellor of Germany. I had the distinction of taking him around. Then La Wałęsa, you pronounce his name as that, but he was a famous Polish leader who was the Solidarity leader. He came to India and he visited. And the Crown Prince of Thailand, because in Thailand there is when you get married, especially the royal family, they come and visit the Buddhist centers in India, and they came to Ajanta Ellora. They came in a special jet from Bangkok and visited Ajanta Ellora. That was a great experience also. But I think that experience of working as an English guide for taking people around Ajanta and Ellora helped me later on in life. Anyway, that was on a lighter note to, from all the very, enlightening stuff that you've heard. But going back to the theme of today's, discussion, which will be discussed in the two sessions after this opening inaugural session, I think the background is what the work that happened in the G20, and I was in the thick of it last year during India's presidency. And currently, the G20 is going on in Brazil. And I saw from the internet that the Tourism Ministers' Conference has happened, and on 21st, they have accepted the final declaration. And I was glad that most of the themes that we had discussed in the G20 presidency in India have been adopted, and some changes have been made, which I'll touch upon, and I'm sure Suman will give you more details of that. But the 5 themes that we said should be priorities for tourism in the world last year during India's G20 tourism presidency were green tourism, which will be discussed today, and the whole idea is that we should have sustainable and renewable energy and green practices more into tourism, because we are seeing the impact of over-tourism in various parts of the world and in our country also, of the need for doing capacity studies, of carrying capacity studies, and the ill effects of over-tourism and non-sustainable tourism. Digital tourism, because we have seen how the use of digital technology with the use of smartphones and the use of online media, social media that has come in, has transformed the tourism landscape. So we need to take it further so that even areas which don't have broadband or internet penetration get that, and people are able to utilize the benefits of that. I'll just share with you, last week I was in Surat, where a very ambitious economic plan was unveiled by the Niti Aayog, and one of the areas that they discussed was, even in Surat, which is a very prosperous part of the country, the most prosperous part of Gujarat, where an economic development plan along with tourism is being discussed, broadband penetration, internet penetration was an issue, even in such a prosperous part of the country. So I think that is something that we need to focus on if we're talking about digital tourism, and we need to make the digital access open to all. The third thing, very important, which Jyoti also mentioned, was skilling. With the tourism, the pace at which it is growing, it is almost, the growth every year is double digit now in terms of percentage growth, and it will continue to grow. The aim of the policy when we discussed was that we need to have a $1 trillion tourism economy in India by 2047. Now, if we are taking the tourism economy to that level from today's level of about 140, 150 billion, then obviously you need a large amount of manpower. And if the ambitions that we have, then obviously we need a large amount of not only the quality manpower, not only the quantity, but we also need quality manpower. So the need for skilling, otherwise we will, lose the bus, because we have a large amount of youth who wants to get into the workforce, but if we have this scale and speed going on, if we don't skill our youth properly, we will not have the quality that we are looking for. MSMEs. Now a large number, 70-80% of the tourism sector is dominated by medium and small players. The large players are there, they are the ones who are visible. They'll say in airlines, aviation, which is close to Jyoti Maya's heart, then or hotels. You see large online aggregators who are working. But apart from the large players, there are a lot of small players who are behind them, who are working in the background, and they need to be strengthened. Their capacities need to be, improved if we have to take tourism to the next level. Access to finance, the qualities of how to tackle reach the market. All these things, they have to be supported. And so apart from these four, green, digital, skills, MSMEs, the final priority was that we need to strengthen destination management organizations. Ultimately, you can do all this, but when you reach a destination and the local administration, the local management is not good, the whole thing is going to crumble. So we need to strengthen. And there are examples, globally and in India also, that strong destination management organizations have delivered the goods wherever it is required. It needs a combination of state, local, and the civil society, people who are stakeholders in the tourism sector and others, all them to get together and develop very strong destinations. And only strong such organizations at the local level will strengthen the ability and reach of people to enjoy the tourism facilities there. Now, I saw the declaration at Brazil, which has happened day before yesterday, 21st. They have agreed in principle with most of these things, skills, MSMEs. But one thing that they're very important to change that we did not discuss much during India's G20 presidency was the need for financing these initiatives. The need to finance digital initiatives, the need to look for good sources of finance for green initiatives, and I'm sure all these will be discussed today. And I wish the seminar all success, and I wish the further deliberations all success. And I'm sure that the deliberations today will prove useful to the ministry and other stakeholders in taking India's tourism further ahead on to reap the success it deserves. Once again, I wish you my best wishes for World Tourism Day, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce our chief guest for today's seminar, Shri Suman Bilaji. is a member of the 1996 batch of the Indian Administrative Service, brings a wealth of experience to his new position, having previously served at the Ministry of Tourism as the Joint Secretary and as the Secretary for Kerala Tourism. He has also served as the Commissioner for Commercial Taxes in the Government of Kerala and has been a key figure in India's tourism initiatives, has played a pivotal role in shaping policy and initiatives to promote and develop the tourism sector in India. Over the years, Sri Billa has been instrumental in driving efforts to make India a globally recognized destination for tourism, emphasizing the importance of sustainability, heritage preservation, and international collaborations. And we are privileged to have him here with us today to kindly share his vision for the future of tourism in India. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and welcome Sri Suman Billa.
Good morning. President of FAST, Lieutenant General K.M. Seth, Sri M.P. Barua, former Secretary Tourism Government of India, my former boss, Sri Vinod Zutshi, Mr. Arvind Singh, who was also former Tourism Secretary and with whom I've had a privilege of working while I was at the World Tourism Organization, my good friend, Madam Jyoti Mayal, Sri V.P. Agarwal, ladies and gentlemen. I think this seminar is organized to commemorate the World Tourism Day. And I think the topic that we have chosen could not have been more apt. It's about taking India tourism forward. And there are two areas that are listed out. One is technological innovation and the other is green sustainability, through which we work on it. So one of the things that I always find is that what is the problem statement for tourism in India? And I think the biggest problem statement we have is that there is a big gap between potential and performance. We all understand that India has the goods to deliver on the tourism front, but for some reason, for the past several decades, we have not been able to deliver. And I think the reason why tourism becomes extremely important for this country is for, as several of my illustrious colleagues have spoken before me, is its ability to create jobs. Tourism can create jobs at all levels, and tourism can create jobs in big numbers. As the economy progresses towards fourth industrial revolution and your modes of production become more and more technology oriented, they will become more capital intensive but less labor intensive. And which is why I think the necessity for sectors like tourism to do the heavy lifting, to create the jobs that an economy like India so dearly needs. And tourism can create jobs at the managerial level down to the menial level and essentially sustain livelihoods. It can sustain communities around tourism areas. So I think that is the importance that tourism has for us. Now, if we look at the contribution that tourism makes for our GSDP in the 2023, it accounts for 5.04% of the